So this past weekend I had the opportunity to hunt bears in Idaho. And although I didn't see any bears, I saw plenty of wildlife, and I saw one of the coolest things that I've ever seen while out in the woods. I was hiking along and I got to the top of this ridge, and I peeked down over the other side, and standing in the trees I could just see the tail end of a cow elk. And I thought, okay, this is pretty cool. I was about 30 yards away, so there was a tree between me and this elk, so it couldn't really see me. And I just thought, okay, I'm going to sit down real slow right here. So I sat down, and before long, I'm looking at this elk, and I can see something moving underneath it. And so I got my camera, and I zoom in, and I can see that this cow elk has a baby calf with it. And I thought, oh, this is awesome. So I'm just sitting there watching this, and this baby elk is starting to get up after too long, starts moving around on some wobbly legs, trying to get used to planet Earth. This thing is new, like barely born within the past day or two. And so this elk gets up, it moves around. I'm thinking, okay, this is pretty cool. And all of a sudden it goes and beds down. And I'm thinking, wow, that was neat. Well, Mom starts to move around, and she starts walking in my direction. And keep in mind, when I saw this elk, I was at the top of the ridge. So I'm not hiding in bushes, I'm not hiding in trees. Like, I'm literally just sitting here on top of this ridge in my camouflage. And this elk is walking right up towards me, and before too long, it spots me. And this elk just stares at me for the longest time. And anybody who's ever been around elk knows what I'm talking about. Elk don't have anywhere to be. They're not in a hurry to go anywhere. And so they will stare at you and stare at you and stare at you until they feel confident, or until they want to look at you from a different angle. And that's what this elk did. So there's bugs flying around in my face. There's mosquitoes buzzing in my ear. And I'm trying to just hold dead still while this elk is sitting here checking me out. And she walks away, tries to get a different view, and she ends up coming back. And she does this a couple times, and after the second time, she walks away, and then she starts making a noise that every elk hunter knows. It's the noise that you're busted. She starts barking like a dog. The first time I ever heard an elk do this, I thought it was a dog. And so she makes this sound a couple times. She checks me out for a third time, and then all of a sudden she decides that it's time to leave, that there's something just not quite right about this picture. So as soon as this elk leaves, I decide, okay, I'm going to leave Mama and Baby alone, and I back up, and I decide that I'm going to go look for bears just down the ridge a little bit. Well, I had looked for bears and spotted some other wildlife, didn't see anything, saw a couple other elk across the canyon, but I came back and I decided I just wanted to see if Mama and Baby elk got reunited. Well, Mama elk was nowhere to be found, but down in the trees, this is what I saw. I saw a tiny calf elk laying completely motionless. It was pretty amazing to see how well these things really blend into their surroundings. And I got pretty close to this thing. Didn't want to mess anything up. Mom was nowhere to be found, so otherwise, I would not have got this close. But I took this opportunity to see an elk up close and personal. These are some of my favorite animals, and their instincts are amazing. This thing laid completely still the whole time. You can just barely see it breathing. Otherwise, doesn't blink, doesn't flick an ear, nothing. So I just want to share this opportunity with you guys and encourage you to get outside, enjoy the outdoors, and thanks for watching and tuning into the YouTube channel. If you haven't, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I'll be posting a lot of hunting and fishing videos this year, and thanks for watching.